A plane carrying 367 passengers and 12 crew members was landing. However, upon landing, another aircraft appeared on the runway, leading to a devastating explosion. The intensity of the fire was so severe that it caused the metal parts of the plane to melt. Despite having advanced technology, such a major incident happened. Let's try to understand the whole case very easily. In today's video, we'll be discussing the events of January 2nd, 2024, which marked a significant technological milestone. Among them, there were 8 children and 12 crew members. The baggage of passengers and travelers was loaded in about half an hour, and now it was ready to take off. This plane was supposed to go to Haneda Airport. In a while, this plane was going to depart towards its destination, Haneda Airport, where an unprecedented incident was awaiting this plane. But in Japan, besides all this, there was something else that was not going right. The new year brought a new disaster for Japan. The city of Pensacola in Japan fell victim to an earthquake. So far, 70 people have died, and nearly 200 buildings have been destroyed. In this incident, thousands of people were shifted to other places, resulting in a severe shortage of food and drink. Many helicopters and planes were used to supply all these. Japanese Coast Guard -8 was also going for a supply mission for earthquake victims. In this plane, along with loading goods, 34 people were on board, ready to take off from where they were supposed to take off, from runway number 34 right of Japan Airlines Airport. But where did they know that the runway where they were landing already had a plane? Japan Airlines Flight 516 landed safely. Just 4 to 5 seconds later, the -8 plane came in front of it, and there was a fierce collision between the two. The fire erupted so fast that the entire airport lit up, and the sky turned black with smoke. This entire incident was also recorded by CCTV cameras. Even after the collision, this plane kept moving forward for a few thousand feet, and finally, it stopped. Meanwhile, passengers were told not to stand because someone might faint from smoke, and the route to escape might be blocked. And the biggest thing was that no one would touch their belongings. Leave everything and run until you reach a safe distance. All passengers followed the rules well, and within a few minutes, all passengers got out of the plane, and the fire was so intense that it seemed like it would never be extinguished. Almost half an hour after the passengers came out, such a fierce fire broke out that the metal body of the plane began to melt. The good news was that all the passengers of Japan Airlines and all the crew members survived. Whereas in the -8 plane, in which 6 people were on board, 5 died on the spot, while 1 pilot was saved in critical condition, this incident raised many questions. What was ATC doing? How did 2 planes come in the same runway in front of ATC's eyes? Where was the mistake and how did it happen? There are all the questions whose investigation has now begun. Such incidents leave behind a lot of evidence. This evidence remains hidden in these photos, videos. After understanding and seeing all this, I found out shocking things. I found out about such negligence that led to such a big accident. So let's understand the investigation in detail. In the investigation video, let's start with the beginning of this incident. Here from the CCTV footage, we can see the shining light of Japan Airlines. If we notice its angle, we will easily understand that this plane had touched down here. 5 to 6 seconds later, a fire broke out. It means the second plane will not be far away in the darkness. Upon reviewing the footage, we observed that within 5 seconds of the plane's landing, a blast occurred in the simulation. During this time frame, the plane had almost reached the same point. Considering the presence of taxiways, it was apparent that the plane was positioned nearby, suggesting an increased likelihood of a collision. Furthermore, the descent appeared to be direct, indicating its intention to proceed for takeoff. It was at this juncture that Japan Airlines Flight 516 collided with the descending aircraft. Identifying the point of collision sheds light on the critical mistake made. Primarily, it's evident that there was a lapse in communication between the descent and air traffic control, ATC. Typically, ATC should have instructed the descent to hold its position until clearance for takeoff was granted. Instead, the descent entered the runway without permission, catching both Japan Airlines and ATC unaware. This prompts questions regarding ATC's oversight. Despite having radar capabilities to monitor airport activities, how did such a significant oversight occur? Modern ATC towers possess advanced tracking systems, yet they are not infallible. Challenges arise when aircraft make minor adjustments to their positions, leading to inaccuracies in radar readings. In essence, if an aircraft moves even slightly from its designated spot, the radar might not accurately reflect its new position. In this scenario, ATC may mistakenly assume that the aircraft is still holding its position. It's plausible that a similar misunderstanding occurred at Haneda Airport, where ATC presumed the descent was maintaining its position. Another aspect to consider is communication between aircraft. While aircraft are equipped with radios for communication, there was a lapse in coordination here as well. Each airport operates on specific radio frequencies, allowing ATC and pilots to communicate effectively. In the case of multiple aircraft using the same runway, they typically tune into the same frequency to facilitate communication. However, if aircraft are using different runways, they operate on separate frequencies. In the case of the Dash 8 and Japan Airlines aircraft, both were meant to use the same runway, necessitating communication on the same frequency to ensure awareness of each other's positions. However, this scenario did not unfold as expected. The Air Traffic Control, ATC, was handling communications on one frequency, while Japan Airlines was operating on a different frequency. Consequently, neither pilot was aware of the other's presence, resulting in both planes ending up on the same runway. This should give you an understanding of where the mistake occurred and how it transpired. Now, let's delve into the aftermath of the intense fire. Despite the severity of the blaze, all passengers emerged unharmed. How did they manage to survive? This raises the pressing question, why didn't the firefighters attempt to extinguish the fire, leaving one hand idle? We will explore the answers to these inquiries. Regarding the fire incident, when Japan Airlines landed, its distance measuring equipment, DME, antenna was so small that it couldn't even make contact with the fuel tank. However, the height of the DME antenna was significant, potentially leading to a collision with the plane's nose. We can observe substantial damage to the nose and nose wheel in accompanying images. The fire initially originated from the DME antenna of one aircraft, subsequently spreading to Japan Airlines' DME antenna. Fortunately, this gradual progression allowed passengers time to evacuate. Had the fire ignited in the larger plane's fuel tank, the outcome could have been catastrophic. Now, let's consider the approach to extinguishing the fire. CCTV footage reveals that firefighters appeared passive rather than actively combating the blaze. However, comprehending the severity of such a fire is no easy task. The scale of the fire far exceeds the capabilities of conventional firefighting equipment. Pouring water, even from multiple trucks, would prove ineffective due to the vast quantities of fuel involved. The intelligence lies in the fact that passengers survived. Had the fire spread to the larger plane's fuel tank, the outcome would likely have been tragic. Therefore, rather than attempting to douse the flames, firefighters opted to let the fire burn under controlled conditions, preventing any potential explosions. Critics may question why a technologically advanced country like Japan didn't deploy more effective firefighting measures. However, in situations involving fuel fires, traditional water-based methods are ineffective. Instead, foam is utilized to smother the flames. While we have gathered substantial information, the full extent of the incident will be revealed in the official investigation report, expected in 2 years. Please consider supporting our channel by subscribing. Your feedback is valuable, so if you found this video informative, please like it. Subscribe to our channel for ongoing learning opportunities. Until next time, keep watching, keep learning.